were looking, to see if there was an exit wound. And I was just in excruciating pain, just like, let's get to the hospital. I knew the clock was ticking.
A mom, a wife, an innocent victim caught in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting on Minneapolis' popular Eat Street. It would take investigators more than 2 years and some remarkable forensics to connect the dots and ultimately charge the alleged gunman whose bullet ended up lodged in the woman's jaw. Tonight, a Fox 9 exclusive. The victim, who lost her career in the medical field and nearly lost her life, is sharing her story publicly for the very first time.
And the incredible investigative work that's bringing her one step closer to justice. Here's Fox 9's Paul Bloom.
My family and I will never be the same people again. My son will never have the same mom.
Still traumatized, Amber asked us only to identify her by her first name. She's concerned about her safety and privacy more than 2 years after her world was shattered.
I had no idea going to dinner that I'd end up shot and almost dying, and my life was going to be changed forever.
June 29, 2021, Nicollet Avenue, Minneapolis. On a block dotted with ethnic restaurants, Amber and a friend were heading home from an early summer evening meal together. Amber recalls spotting a group of young men hanging out on the sidewalk in front of Tobacco and Moss. It was then a troubled corner when the gunfire erupted.
And all of a sudden we heard pop, pop, pop. I immediately knew it was shooting.
Amber grabbed her companion's hand to run. She made only a few steps before collapsing to the ground.
So it was like an explosion in my back, just blinding pain. I dropped like a ton of bricks, and I was immediately paralyzed on my upper half, face down.
Amber was struck by a single bullet that tore through her shoulder blade, dissecting her carotid artery and collapsing her lung on its devastating path into her jaw. Amber, who was a practicing physician's assistant at the time, immediately knew her situation was dire.
I laid there for a couple minutes, unable to move, and then I started bleeding out of my mouth, and I knew that things were definitely serious. And as a former medical provider, I just started thinking about what kind of internal damage I could have, and that I very possibly was dying. Then I thought of my 2-year-old immediately and just thought, like, how sad that would be for him to have to tell everyone his mom died when he was 2.
Emergency responders rushed Amber to HCMC, her mindset to fight, to live for her young son and her husband.
To be shot completely through your neck and survive, I guess I'm lucky in that sense.
What followed was constant, agonizing pain. It crippled her ability to parent and to work. Amber explains she struggled miserably with her physical and emotional healing, including regaining movement on her paralyzed left side. It would take several months before her medical team surgically removed the bullet lodged in her jaw.
They were able to remove it by making an incision under the back of my tongue through my mouth, which was kind of a miserable recovery.
Amber had no idea that damaged bullet, responsible for so much of her suffering, would eventually assist authorities in charging the suspected gunman who fired the near-fatal shot.
2 years ago, 1 year ago, or now, we want to hold people accountable who are willing to use guns against other individuals.
It turns out the bullet was the final piece in a complicated puzzle involving forensic science, a fingerprint on a discarded soda can at the scene, surveillance video, a bright purple handgun, and another shooter willing to name names.
And so it's putting all of that together, and we see that in investigations now, that with all the technology, the forensics, it's important to have investigators who have the knowledge to put all of that together, and so that we can get a case like this and be able to prosecute it.
Let's start with the Pepsi can. Fingerprints on the can match to this man, Marion Ware. Ware was seen on video outside a tobacco shop shooting at occupants of a passing Honda Accord who fired first. Police eventually arrested Ware with a gun that matched ballistics at the scene. Ware is currently serving a 9-year prison sentence for his role. A second suspect, James Patterson, is awaiting sentencing in the case. He is currently in prison for other crimes and, according to court records, is cooperating with prosecutors. Patterson identified a third shooter by the name of Quintarius Franklin, describing his group as a, quote, street gang along Nicollet. Patterson reported Franklin raised up and fired from a distinctive purple Smith & Wesson handgun just as Amber and her friend attempted to cross the street.
Yeah, man, you should have told us about it, man.
I understand, bro.
Okay.
In a bit of good fortune for law enforcement, Crystal Police randomly recovered a purple handgun during this traffic stop and arrest in August 2021, just a couple months after Amber was nearly killed. The weapon was loaded with the serial number scratched off. Nothing in the case file suggests the motorist had anything to do with Amber's shooting, but when it was test-fired, rounds matched discarded casings and other evidence collected near that tobacco shop that had been uploaded to a National Ballistic Information Portal. With the gun confirmed, the bullet from Amber's jaw, and a name, it was now up to forensic analysis to connect the final dots.
So this is our firearms range, housed on the 3rd floor here.
While the Minneapolis Crime Lab worked Amber's case, we came to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehensions Laboratories in St. Paul for a comparable demonstration.
Yeah, so prior to coming into laboratory, we'll make note of the class characteristics of the firearm.
Here, Travis Mellon, the firearm examiner, loaded a Glock, and then he test-fired several rounds into a sealed tank, explaining the tub filled with approximately 600 gallons of water keeps the bullets from getting damaged and preserves the individual markings made by the suspect firearm. Mellon eventually fished out the rounds and prepared them for analysis.
That's how we store our bullets.
Under his compound microscope with television monitor, Mellon can spend hours scrutinizing, fine-tuning, searching all the ridges and striations every gun makes between his test-fired rounds and the evidence that would have been supplied by police. No AI or high-tech here. This is all human visualization and analysis.
Lighting is crucial when making these comparisons. Even the slightest angle difference between even what we're looking at here can visually look different. So that comes with that training that we go through to make sure that we're keeping all the variables as similar as we can when we're looking at these individual characteristics.
For Amber, the questions boil down to this. Was the bullet surgically removed from her jaw, unequivocally fired by the purple handgun, recovered during the traffic stop? And did investigators now have enough evidence to arrest Contarius Franklin for the devastating shooting? The answer to both in court filings, yes, allowing the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to pursue first-degree assault charges against Franklin more than 2 years after Amber's life was forever altered.
I still suffer from PTSD. I have severe anxiety, irritability, nightmares.
Franklin's case now working its way through the courts as Amber continues her healing journey.
You know, justice is important. Obviously, the most important thing for me is for no one else to get hurt.
As you could probably hear in her voice there, Amber has a whole mix of emotions on these latest charges and the prison consequences for those involved. She really feels for everyone whose lives were impacted by that senseless exchange of gunfire, including, of course, her own. Perhaps a sign here or even a miracle. Despite her catastrophic injuries, Amber is pregnant and expecting a second child in the new year. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.